different players, different rosters that you can field out. And just like that, we are going to be heading into the grand finals here of the Snapdragon Pro Series Women's League. And look at how fast the bans are, Aetherna. Almost immediately, they know what to take out already.
And it's no surprise, like they've been in this position over and over and over again. So it's not a surprise that these bans are coming through rather quickly. Baxia, Roger, Link respected away from the side of Team Vitality. Meanwhile, from the side of Team Vitality, they have respected away from Falcons is the Moskov, Vexana, as well as the Chip. So again, the Luo Yi open up, taken. It should be, right?
Yep.
First pick. All right, there it is, the Luo Yi in the first phase of the drafts.
Yep, it's a signature Falcons Vega pick. Even up against Onyx All earlier, this was a pick that they've prioritized, and now they have secured it for their hands for Vitality this time. There's a lot to take in as well. Like you want to go for more aggressive. Like Vivian can already pick up her hero, or maybe even go for the gold laner pickup, since that seems to be one of the biggest winning conditions for Vitality.
But now that the Roger has been taken out, are they gonna commit onto the Harith here? Because usually we see a Natan and a Roger and a Moskov in the early phase of the bans, but since all of these are taken out, they're actually gonna go for comfort, obviously, right? Shell on her priority hero, picking up the Claude as well as a comforts in for the Charizla.
Yeah, the pick here that seems to be coming back, the Charizla, that has been a priority for teams that are on the red side, right? A great way to set up the plays, a great CC as well, especially for the diversion plays that will be made for the Luo Yi. Now for Falcons Vega, they need to kind of have, again, will they go for, since this time it's Caramel, will it be, a little bit more of a utility jungler? Go for maybe the Nathan here in the lane when it comes to, the laning fairies here up against the Claude to have that late game scaling as well.
That's definitely an option here, but it looks like they're going to prioritize the Roam first, as well as the Akai. Oh no, it's the Natan. So you're right, the Natan has been picked up to go in the lane against the Claude. But again, it's a good and better lane for the Claude in the early stage of the game.
Oh, I was actually expecting this Matilda to pop up even more early, like in the first two picks of Vitality. But this time, with Vivian having this type of hero, it kind of enables the team of Vitality to be even more aggressive, right? Having the Minotaur here, yes, they have the CC, but with the Matilda, like how Vivian played it earlier, it's a very aggressive type of Matilda.
It truly is. And as we now enter the second phase of the drafts, honestly, Team Vitality can look for more respect towards the jungle, right? If you want to go in for a little bit more limit onto Caramel, so far she's picked up the Alpha as well as the Fredrin. So let's see what the choice of ban is. But actually, they're going to respect it over to the EXP lane, picking up Arlet away from, of course, Violet.
Yep, the final slashes, right, that she did even up against Onyx All earlier is to be respected, since right now it is a battle between, the jungler and the XP laner that still needs to be picked up here by Vega. There is still, I'm thinking, the Fredrin, right? We haven't seen so much of it. It seems like, the teams right now will go for, either the... It seems to be a day of Martis here today, especially in the game of Falcons Vega. I'm not so sure if that's going to be an option to take out, but it seems to be an XP lane. Total ban here for Team Vitality for their last two bans.
Yeah, they're really targeting Violet. She's literally used both of these heroes so far, right? The Arlet and the Edith. She has other heroes in her arsenal. Knowingly, we have the CC that can go up in the lane, but of course, there's still the export.
Yeah.
It's a good lane against the Charizla, but it looks like Falcons do require a little bit of playmaking, which is why Vitality opted for the Edith and the Arlet ban. But of course, the export is still available for them to utilize, as well as a CC if they want to.
Yeah, the CC that can zone the backlines. I think it was banned out several times by both, Falcons and Vitality. So it's a great way, often overlooked when it comes to the XP lane. I would say she's pretty underrated when it comes to some of the tournaments, right? Like it's a it's a situational pick, I would say, for a lot of people. Most of the time, you'd really love to go for XP laners that can set up the place. The CC, I feel like it's more like a Yuzong, right? Like you can zone out the marksmen, the mages, but they need playmaking here for Falcons Vega, and but they've done that time and time again. They lock in the Julian here for Team Vitality. Wait, again, this is still very flexible for their side. It can be a jungle and it can be a mid laner.
I think it should be a jungle pick, right? We've seen this recently from Kyrie actually using the Julian in the jungle, and he was able to dominate on that pick. So that is possibly what Caramel is looking for. But you're right, it is still a flex. It's still open for the taking up until this point. But back onto Falcons, they need a winning lane, right? The Natan and the Claude is not a winning lane. So they need to pick up a winning lane for the EXP lane at least to go head-to-head against Team Vitality in these areas. But they go for the Ruby, all right.
They
Ruby
need the playmaking.
as well as the Nolan. Understandably, they do need the playmaking, but in that lane, how does it go out? Do you have knowledge on this? Ruby against the Terizla?
I've spammed that Ruby several times in the XP lane, but knowing the meta right now, right? Like, the Ruby can sustain to a certain point, but when it comes to clearing, I would say that the Ruby pretty much has a fair ball game up against the Terizla in the early. But if Fumi is known to be like one of the more aggressive type of XP laners, right? Like if you can kind of be a little bit more aggressive than Violet in the early game, it will be so good in the turtle fights. We are about to find out the last pick here of Vitality. It will kind of seal the deal if it is a mid lane
Terizla.
Mid lane Terizla again for Cine. Okay,
should be, right?
Yeah, she's used this yesterday, and it's still gonna be the same. So dive after dive here for Vitality.
Yeah, definitely a lot of tools in their arsenal and a lot of dive, like you mentioned. But luckily enough, right, with the Ruby secured, despite it being a skill matchup against a Terizla in the EXP lane, it has a lot of peel. It has a lot of counter engages that are possibly able to be utilized, especially with the Minotaur already being banned out. So that's definitely a tool that, of course, Falcons Vega can utilize. But I love this, right? Again, to the final moment of the Snapdragon Pro Series Women's League Challenge Finals, we keep getting pocket picks coming through with Team Vitality picking up the Julian in the jungle.
Man, we've seen this, like what you mentioned, in MPL ID in the grand finals nonetheless, right? And it's the exact same thing here at Snapdragon Pro Series. We're going to be seeing it for the first time here in this tournament, in the grand finals at that. We're going to be heading into game number 1 here of our best out of 5 series. Is it going to be Falcons Vega, or is it going to be Team Vitality here, a tournament that will take in the championship, the crowns, to be the queen here of SPS. I'm looking at this Julian pick of Pipals. I'm not surprised that, these pocket picks are coming out in the grand finals. I'm pretty sure, pulling off a Julian pick as crucial as the grand finals, which means that they've already been preparing for this type of pick.
For sure, pocket strats, pocket picks, pocket strats, whatever you want to call it, will be going out because at this point, both of these teams have nothing to lose. Falcons Vega have already secured that MWI slot, and now they're looking to get their next title. But look at the damage Caribou is already doing in this early game, getting a lot of damage onto Vivian up until this point. But let's circle back onto this Julian pick. Julian, no lethal ignition, but instead, they go for the Impure Rage.
Yeah, to get that extra mana boost, right? The Julian does rely onto the mana, going in for the Seasoned Hunter. And of course, the attack speed as well, to be able to farm up fast. Opting actually for the Assassin emblem instead of the usual, I would say a Mage emblem or even the basic common emblem. But this just means that Pipal's Julian just want to go full-on aggression here, full-on penetration with this kind of build.
Yeah, very aggressive, and you can already see it really come through here in the early stage of the game. But looking at the farming patterns so far, Caramel at level 4, Peoples as well at level 4. It's a 50-50 now in the neutral objective take, unless, of course, Caramel wants to get a pick in the bottom side first.
Yeah, it's gonna be Fumi. This is the usual, right? The XP laner that needs to be pressured to enable that level 4 power spike to be denied. And now Fumi Echo goes all the way back in. Caramel's gonna be punished here, but for the price of none. 2 kills for the side of Vitality. The jungler is down. The XP laner is down for the side of Falcons Vega, and they go straight to the turtle.
You can count on Team Vitality to pick up the pace and pick up the tempo with everything that we have seen from them so far, especially with the composition that they brought today with the Julian and the Matilda. Expect higher mobility, faster rotations, and even sharper decision making and instincts coming through. And that has actually propelled Team Vitality to a 1.6k gold lead in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of gold plating, by the way, taken in by Shells as early as the 3-minute mark. She's already chunked down that top tower to half. That's a lot of gold to take in, but whoa! The chains come through. Agatha does not even have the time to pop in that flicker. Vitality just going for aggression after aggression. They don't even care. They just pop in all the ultimates as long as it's available.
Absolutely no time wasted for Team Vitality. They're picking up everything they can all over the map as fast as possible. Shells already with the gold plating that you mentioned earlier on has picked up the corrosion side, so already starting the momentum train that Shells is notoriously known for in the gold lane, especially on the Claude, and it looks like they're looking for another opening in the top lane.
Cine, she has that penalty zone, but not quite yet, right? As long as Tal is there, as long as the heal is up, as long as she has that Minoan's Fury, no one's just going to go for the full commit, knowing that there is still that tower on the top side to be respected.
Definitely. There was also no flicker, so there was no additional range that could have been achieved in. And if we take a look at her items at the moment, she's really respecting the fact that there will be damage in the lane in that 1v1 against the Ruby, so she itemizes a little bit more defensively. Meanwhile, Jin Chao secures the Feather of Heaven already, so on the way to the power spike, but already that damage onto Shells, by the way, by the Luo Yi, by Agatha. But look at that, what?
Caramel found a pick-off onto Shells right as she was farming in that Scuttler Crab right there on the bottom side, and this should give them fast opening to the gold plating that was taken in. Now Vivian gonna try to go for the engage with the Circling Eagle. The Whisk come through, but at least for the side of Team Vitality, they get in the turtle. Cine is here for the backup with, wait, hold on, Black Dragon from the bottom side. Fumi gonna take down Caramel once again. Gonna try to go for more. The Petrify onto Thal, and he gets taken down, but here comes the clapback rotation diversion combo, but it is not enough. The shields are here from Vivian's Matilda, and they're gonna be able to take off 2 for the price of none.
Mid lane, the Ruby.
Violet. Okay, are they gonna go for it? She does not have... Okay, finally, she uses the flicker to escape that. But again, resources burn time and time again. After Falcons Vega, they're unable to make the place because of all these things that Vitality has been doing. They've been doing dives and dives time and time again.
They're angry, right? They were angry that they took down Shell earlier on, and look at how the domino effect occurred after that, how it unfolded, right? Julian Pipal's still very objective-centered, being able to pick up that the turtle, in the bottom lane. And of course, Team Vitality collapsed with 2-0 on the board as a means of revenge onto the pick onto Shells. But Shells was given the mid clear to help revamp from what exactly occurred earlier on. So Shells should be back on her way and back on track to go for this right now.
Cine gonna try to go in for the penalty zone, but onto the backside, they had a diversion play. Blazing duet there by Shells, gonna get taken down by the chains of Pipals, but here comes Fumi. Once again, she just came from down south, and now she's gonna go for more, able to get that shot residue onto Thal, and now the burst damage still continues on as Pipals gonna be landing that enhanced chains to take down Falcons Vega, and they should be able to at least invade their jungle side right now. This is just 6 minutes in Eternal. What is going on here with Team Vitality? They are so excited to take in game number 1.
Pipals is a monster on this Julian, like what in the world are we seeing right now, right? An early Holy Crystal for that damage, and we can actually see it go through. Where Shells is lacking currently, it has been really taken over by Pipal's early game damage on the Julian. As Fubi Echo gets taken down, however, and that is going to be a shutdown given over to Falcons Vega. A little bit of a trade-off, but it still is Team Vitality holding on to the reins in the 7th minute of the game.
Wow, okay. Well, Vivian, she's gonna try to go for Chin Chow here. There's the heals coming out from Thal. She might get punished here, and that was the punish coming through here for the side of Falcons Vega. They've been winning some of these trades for up against Team Vitality, care of the punish, but you know what? The map control, again, for Vitality, if they know that they're gonna lose a team fight up on the top side, they've burned in so much resources just to take down either Chels, take down Vivian, but Team Vitality, they just know how to play such good macro play here in this game.
I agree. Every single decision that they have made has been to collapse it onto a neutral objective that is available for them to take. And you can even see it from the amount of turrets that they have in favor of themselves. But look at now, Team Vitality with the space, with the additional momentum that they have secured for themselves. Gonna try and go for an invade early on. Could they potentially be looking for a steal onto this neutral objective until the purple buff?
There's the diversion play by Agatha. They're gonna try to go onto the top side, onto Chels. Caramel, then try to go for it. Blazing Duet and the Circling Eagle. Look at the layering of skills from the side of Team Vitality. Pipals, again with the nice targeting, is able to get things down. A double for Shells. Was able to get in 2 for the side of Vitality, and with no answers at all from Falcons Vega. Despite the diversion play, despite the attempt from Falcons Vega, it is still Team Vitality. It seems like they have answers to all of these plays.
That didn't go according to plan at all for Falcons Vega, right? That counter engage from the side of Team Vitality was exceptional. And even throughout all that damage, even that early game damage, the base damage coming in from the Luo Yi, Shell still is unable to be taken down. This is what you call a power pick. And now she picks up the Lord. I think she had the DHS already built in as well in her kit. So whatever is thrown up onto Shell, you really understand and you really see that she knows the ins and outs of this Claude, right? It was like a sliver of health for her to be taken down, and yet she was still able to get more HP from the minions that were next to her, and she survived that entire engage.
Oh man, you're talking about Team Vitality that is not playing with the more traditional setup, right? Like they're playing with a Tirizla mid lane. Not that much AoE, and Cindy is just playing this hero like it's a mid laner. Like she's just going all aggressive here right now. Team Vitality, 10 minutes in, 10 kills, 1 kill per minute. What's there left to do here for Falcons Vega? I mean, every single time they go for the engage, it's either Thal is bursted down here by Chels or even by Pipal. So it's really hard to set up the play that Falcons Vega wants here.
For sure, and they're only banking on the late game, and the problem is, will we even get to the late game with how Team Vitality is playing right now? Pipals picks up an additional item with the Bloodwing, so... But here we go, Circling Eagle.
Circling Eagle just to kite or zone everybody out. Vivian, though, gonna be taking a run of damage there. She still has the heals. The Lord is not the enhanced one just yet, but they've taken in the top inhibitor tower here for the side of Vitality. Lord advantage to their side, a 6k lead for the side of Team Vitality as well.
And it looks like they still want to keep pushing, right? This mid lane is still pushing with the minions as well. Let's see the zoning. They don't really have much resources. It looks like they're going to back away. But the top side and the bottom side are still pushing.
Yeah, the winning condition here for Falcons Vega is so that Chin Chow will be able to get in the proper position to pop in that entropy, right? And so far, she's been only taken down once. 2-1-2 on this Nathan. We've seen this also on Rian in the games earlier. So as long as they can have a nice setup, get in that I Am Offended, get in that Minowan's Fury. But how can you do that when the Circling Eagle always comes in first? There comes the burst damage as well for Pipal Style. Gonna do her best to soak up the damage. But look at the damage coming through as well from Falcons Vega. There goes the re-engage from City. Gotta go in for the penalty zone. It is not enough. Chels as well going for the blazing duet onto the backside. A little bit too dangerous there, but is able to get away with the BMI.
Again, she knows the ins and outs, but it looks like there's going to be a diversion play here. But it doesn't look like do want to go for the commit onto it. An 8,000 gold lead now for Team Vitality. And if we have to compare on both of these junglers, right? Pipal's already at level 15. So even if Falcons Vega want to go for the contest, it's more of a favorable trade for Team Vitality. They got to try and utilize Agatha with her macro, with her global presence and her diversions to be able to look for a loophole.
Cindy, wow, she is just zoning out the members here of Falcons Vega while Pipal is just gonna go straight for that Lord. Now, Team Vitality, they're just gonna go for Mortal, gonna be taken down. Agatha's gonna be worked on here. Petrify onto her Caramel as well. Gonna get the enhanced change, and Agatha, even with the Winter Trenchant, is not safe from the hands of Team Vitality. 4 members up against 2. They got Violet for the setup. The Lord marching in on the top side, but will it be enough? Violet gonna take a part of the damage. It's a monster kill for Pipals, but look at Xin Chao. Will be able to wreak havoc, but it is not enough. The minions are coming through. Team Vitality, they're locking in the base. It is over. They take it as swift as 13 minutes and take in game number 1.
They lead the series in this best of 5 series, but in a best of 5, it's no longer a sprint, but it